very seamless that time. Usually I have to like stretch and go to get there.
I love you.
I love you.
You're so silly.
Yeah, I try to be. What's up, guys? It's your boy Chrysalis here, back at again with my girlfriend at my side. We are going to be talking about our predictions for the Academy Awards, since they are in about 2 weeks or so. Why they decided to do the middle of March instead of early March for the Academy Awards this time, I have no idea, but here we are. So like we did with last year's video, we are going to let you guys know which ones that we would prefer win and which ones that we think are going to win. The only awards that we're going to be omitting are everything that's a documentary, everything that's a short film, and everything that's a short documentary. On that note, let's begin. So we're going to start with actor in a leading role. Also, I'm not going to go through who all is individually nominated. I will drop a link in the description to the database for the Academy Awards so you can follow along if you want to, or you can just find one of your own. It's up to you.
So, for actor in a leading role, my bad.
Same thing.
I personally would love to see Michael B. Jordan get it.
Mm-hmm.
I think Sinners was just one of the best movies of the year. I am obsessed with it. I'm still listening to the soundtrack on repeat. However, reality is, if it's not him, then I would say it'll either be like Leonardo or Timothy.
I'm with you. I would definitely love to see Michael B. Jordan win, since he played two very distinct characters and they actually felt very distinct, like individually. It almost feels like a crime that he also didn't simultaneously get nominated for Best Supporting Actor, since he, played the lead role and the not lead role. Your phone fell into the abyss.
I know.
Yeah, so in another year, I feel like Michael B. Jordan would be nominated, well, would win. He's already nominated, but would win Best Lead Actor. But this year, it's pretty stacked between Wagner Moura as our lead role in The Secret Agent, which he was wonderful in, and of course Timothée Chalamet and Marty Supreme, as well as Leonardo DiCaprio in One Battle After Another. But I think out of all of them, I think the writing is kind of on the wall, more or less, and I think Timothée Chalamet is finally going to come away with his first Oscar in an acting role. I think he just does a wonderful job playing Marty Mauser, and he's like the walking, breathing id that is just stepping all over like everybody in his path to get greatness, and it all kind of just falling flat for him anyway, to the point where he ends up just being satisfied that his one win is just an exhibition match with his rival.
So, jumping into actor in a supporting role. For me, I feel like this is one of the hardest ones.
It is every year.
I think I am leaning more into Jacob Elordi. However, I really do love Benicio del Toro.
Mm-hmm.
He was probably one of my favorite things in One Battle After Another. But honestly, Jacob did such a fantastic job. I love Frankenstein to begin with. That is one of my favorite books. So I loved seeing him on screen. He did such a great job. I think it was a great take on Frankenstein itself. So those are my two picks.
As always, actor supporting role is just unbelievably stacked, like just absurdly. I'd probably say the same about actresses in a supporting role as well, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Benicio del Toro just does a phenomenal job in his 8-9 minutes of screen time, just really stealing the show in One Battle After Another. And yeah, I feel the same way about Jacob Elordi and Frankenstein. Like, once he ends up speaking, once you actually get to his part in Frankenstein, the movie just goes from maybe a 4 out of 5 to a 4.5 to 5 out of 5. It's night and day that much, or at least in my humble opinion. But as far as who I think is going to win, I your guess is as good as mine, because like nothing's been consistent with the award circuit, like, period. But I would say maybe Stellan Skarsgård in Sentimental Value. He just did a phenomenal job in that movie, playing a absent father that can only really communicate his feelings and like communicate his trauma through film, and just paying the dividends for like just not quite being there for his two children.
I love that you're like, oh yeah, it went from a 4.5 to like a 5, somewhere around in there. Considering you gave Frankenstein a 4.5, it was worthy of a 5.
My point still stands.
I think Jacob did a fantastic job, even like before his speaking roles, to be able to, have so much emotion and, be able to portray a monster that can't speak before you even get that part. Like, he did phenomenal.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
For actress in a leading role, I probably lean into Jessie Buckley. I did not watch Hamnet, but I have heard so much about her. Like, out of all the different movies with actresses nominated for it, like, that's the one that I'm hearing the most on.
Yeah, as far as like who I want to win, probably Jessie Buckley for Hamnet, I would say. She just is like the driving force in Hamnet, just playing Agnes. She's kind of like a forest witch, sort of, that can allegedly like see in the future, and William Shakespeare falls in love with her, and yeah, she just sees death on the horizon but doesn't really know from where, and like just seeing like from beginning to end, like her arc and everything is just so heartbreaking. I cried twice in that movie. I really did, and it was all because of like her performance in it. As far as like who I think is gonna win, it's the writing is probably on the wall at this point. Like, she's sweeping all the award circuits for her performance, all of them. I can see maybe Rose Byrne taking it for If I Had Legs, I Would Kick You, but I just think like Jessie Buckley's performance is just a tier above that, in my opinion.
I'd say so. I mean, even just like seeing the trailers and stuff, I was like, oh, that's definitely impressive. So you forget that, she's just acting.
Yeah.
So that takes us into actress in a supporting role. I also, on this one, just not really sure. Like, I've heard a lot with Teyana Taylor. Not me, myself, and I'm a fan of Elle Fanning, just in general. But I want Sinners to just sweep the board if I have my way.
Yeah, me too.
I think is it Wunmi?
Wunmi Mus...
Wunmi Musako?
Yeah, I'll put the pronunciation in the captions later.
I want her to get it.
Yeah.
I would love to see that. I loved her performance in there. I think it was fantastic. It was just another piece of the film being so immersive that just keeps bringing me back to Sinners.
Oh yeah, she was phenomenal as Smoke's estranged like girlfriend slash partner slash mother of his child that is lost at some point in the movie, and also just someone that like knows what's going on with like vampires and stuff, because like she's just in touch with that other side of the world that everyone just kind of writes off as just, oh yeah, them's just voodoo magic or whatever, yada yada yada. And honestly, it wouldn't surprise me that if she ends up taking it, because again, supporting actress, like, yeah, you throw a coin or like a dice in the air, like that's gonna be your answer. I don't think either of the actresses in Sentimental Value are gonna take it as great as they were. Ingeborg's daughter, this was phenomenal in that movie. But I think it really is a three-way toss-up between like Amy Madigan and Weapons, because she was just completely unnerving and just like psychopathic in that movie, along with of course Wunmi Masako and Sinners, and Teyana Taylor, who yeah, she only has like maybe 10 minutes of screen time throughout the entire film, but like she really just kind of just sets the tone, helps sets the tone of like where the narrative ends up going, and she like does that really well.
All right, so that brings us to our animated feature film, which I myself am so excited for because K-pop Demon Hunters needs to win. I want K-pop to win. I love the movie. Don't get me wrong, I love Zootopia too.
Mm-hmm.
That was my other one that I like. If either one of them win it, I'm okay. But I really want K-pop Demon Hunters to win.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of times that I have seen it now is unreal, and the soundtrack is so catchy. Like, it's a toss up. Like, which one's in my top 25 most listened to right now? They're all up in there, and it's like, which one's highest? It takes its week.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I loved the animation style. I loved the storyline. I think it was a fun, fresh movie. I loved the new take with having like the Han Moon and stuff like that in there. And I think it's one of those, it's just kind of like captured the world because it is viral. It's everywhere.
I think that K-pop Demon Hunters is probably going to win, and I'd say it probably is also my personal pick that I hope will win too. I think it's just phenomenally well animated and phenomenal story, and the music's great. Adds another notch into Sony Animation's belt with just how good it was. I just don't really think it has really that much competition. Maybe Zootopia 2, which was really good, but 2025 not the strongest year for animated films, sadly. Like again, Elio good, Arco good, Zootopia 2 good. Did not watch Little Emily yet. I missed that opportunity, but nothing like phenomenal aside from like K-pop Demon Hunters in a lot of ways. So if K-pop Demon Hunters loses Best Animated Film, I will be thoroughly surprised.
I will too. I'll be shocked.
Yeah, right.
I mean, just the traction that it's gotten over this last year has been wild. I don't know too many people that I'm talked to or I'm friends with or anyone that just doesn't know it or hasn't seen it. And don't get me wrong, I have some love for Elio.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't seen the other two. We already know that I love some Zootopia too. I love the Zootopia franchise.
Mm-hmm.
But the K-pop Demon Hunters, it takes the cake for me. So we're gonna head straight into casting.
Yeah. So this is like the very first year they're doing casting. How well like the casting director did with like picking and choosing like actors and stuff, and just the overall ensemble, I guess. Again, it's new, so I don't really have a whole lot to go off of, but as far as like ensemble casting goes, not only do I want Sinners to win, I think Sinners is probably the one to win. It's just such a really just fantastic, like with Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo and Jack O'Connell and everyone else that's in that movie. Miles Canton, of course.
It's stacked.
Yeah, it's stacked, and not to say that the other ones aren't stacked either, but like I mean, yeah, I think Sinners just ended up being on a whole other level in that.
I'm right there with you. I think Sinners is probably my pick for it. It might go to Hamnet. Again, I haven't seen it.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, from what I've heard of it in the trailers, like, it was really good casting. But I feel like Sinners is going to sweep that spot. So, and that pulls us into our cinematography. For me, I think Sinners is going to get it again.
Yeah.
I think just the way they move through, the whole storyline, the lighting, pacing, like, I think it was just fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
It was a really well told story. The music scene that summons, the vampires closer, like,
Yeah.
with all the different generations and ages of, like, music
Mm-hmm.
coming through, like,
Yeah, it is.
I can't beat that.
It is definitely scene of the year, not just because of its music and just the choreography and everything, but also it's like perfect marriage of like its editing and its cinematography. The editing we'll get to in a little bit, but yeah, no, like the cinematography and Sinners is like even during like the daytime, there's like a shadowiness to it that like you can tell something is coming, whether it's, you know, the vampires or the KKK or the white supremacists constantly looming over and everything.
Yeah. It's a very ominous feel to the movie.
But as far as like who I think is going to win, as much as I do want Sinners to win, it has not been doing well on the award circuit for cinematography, unfortunately. So out of all these, I guess either One Battle After Another or Train Dreams, because Train Dreams had like really good cinematography, and honestly, that's was the main thing that it had going for it, since I wasn't too crazy about everything else.
I haven't seen Train Dreams yet, but I still want Sinners to be the winner.
Yeah, me too.
I would be okay if Frankenstein got it. One Battle After Another, you know, Marty Supreme. Like, I liked all the others, but I still want Sinners to win. Majority of my stuff is Sinners, One Battle After Another, and Frankenstein, K-pop Demon Hunters. That's my top 4 picks for everything right now.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair, because, like, you know, those are some of the best movies.
They were my favorite for the year, honestly.
It also helps that Sinners got nominated in essentially every single category it could conceivably get nominated in, which is still insane.
I would be so thrilled if they won all of them.
They won't.
I know.
I mean, you never know.
I mean, I would be okay if K-pop won, like, the top music part. That pulls us into costume design. So, what's your favorite pick?
What's my favorite pick for out of costume design? Probably Frankenstein. In a lot of ways, it kind of reminded me a little bit of, like, Nosferatu, in a way, how, like, it was, like, that period of time, and just, like, the elegance of just all the cast and crew of, like, that time period, like, what they wore, Mia Goth's dresses, like, in that movie. As well as, of course, you know, the creatures, like, just, you know, look in his, like, wardrobe and everything, just, again, reminded me a lot of, like, Cal Orlok and Nosferatu in that regard. So as far as, like, if I think it's gonna win it, probably. I mean, Hamdit's costume design is good, but, you know, not really anything to write home about. It's, you walk into a Renaissance festival or fair, and like you probably ran into people that are wearing stuff for Hamnet. Yeah, and again, I would like Sinners to like sweep everything, but like I think Frankenstein's was still on another level.
I would agree. I think Frankenstein's going to be probably the one, mostly because it's a bit more complex. You know, time period pieces typically be that way. Sinners was, but like you could still buy a lot of those pieces for costumes just kind of anywhere. I mean, it's trousers, suspenders, you know, a good button-up shirt for a lot of them, you know, that very dapper style. You can still get that. You could thrift that most of the time. But now, again, if Sinners won it,
I wouldn't be mad.
If it's Sinners, Frankenstein, like, I won't be mad one way or the other.
Yeah.
So, I do want to see a good mix of the two. Like, I want Sinners to get the majority. I want Frankenstein to have a handful. I want K-pop to get a good bit. One Battle After Another to get a couple or two. You know, I know Avatar Fire and Ash is one of them. But, to be honest, we've seen it twice already. Like, the costumes aren't insanely different. Now, your Fire tribe, like, theirs is a little different. But it's not as impactful to me, I guess.
Right.
But again, if they won, I wouldn't be mad about that one either.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
And that pulls us into our directing.
Yeah, yikes. Yeah. Though I'll start with just like who I think is going to win, because the writing's on the wall. I think Paul Thomas Anderson is probably finally getting his first Oscar in directing, like, ever. I think it's just long overdue for him, sadly. A big part of the reason why One Battle After Another was as good, not just the script that he did or what have you, but also just like how he ended up kind of just directing everybody, and just his overall like control and like his vision just being so uncompromised throughout the film. But I'd rather have Ryan Coogler win for Sinners, though. Like, he, like, a lot of the same reasons as I feel the same about Ryan Coogler for Sinners, but I'm, again, writing's on the wall. I think Paul Thomas Anderson's finally winning like that Oscar amongst like all the others. I think he's gonna win at least one because he's nominated for screenplay as well as director and picture.
I think I'm probably along the same lines with you. Like, I love Sinners. I love One Battle After Another. I think those are probably the two tops for it. I think those are the two that, for me, of what I've seen, was the more complex, like, directing. There was a lot more movement to it, more action happening, more moving parts to me. Not to say there's anything wrong with sentimental value. It was a good movie. But I don't think it took as much. Maybe a bit more like the emotional piece to it. But I do feel like Sinners or One Battle After Another is going to be the one to sweep it.
Yeah, it's rough when that's your top two. Like you want to see them like both win and everything.
I need a part 1 and part 2.
Yeah, right. Just Oscars 2025 part 2 where Sinners wins everything, and Oscars, part 1 where One Battle After Another wins everything.
We're going to skip over those 2 documentary slots and jump right into film editing.
Yep.
So for me, I think it's Sinners, man. I'm obsessed. And then I think a close second would be that One Battle After the Other. It could be F1. I didn't see it, but I have heard some great stuff going on with it.
Yeah. Yeah, despite what Twitter will have you believe, F1 is pretty good. I would prefer like Sinners to win, but even I also would simultaneously prefer like One Battle After Another win, because like Andy Jorgensen, like long-time editor for Paul Thomas Anderson, like for the longest time he just knows exactly what he's looking for with all these like long shots and everything. And if you can, try to find the whole thing where they interviewed him and they asked him about the part where Leo DiCaprio like falls off the building. It looks like he just straight up just fell off the building, like he did his own stunt there, but no, it was like seamlessly like edited and like some digital stuff to where that they obviously used like a stuntman to like do the fall, and then and then it's Leo getting up, and it just all looks like Leo DiCaprio doing all that. And as much as I love Sinners, I gotta give it up to the editing of One Battle After Another. Like it's one of the strongest things about that movie.
So that scene was very seamless, I won't lie.
Yeah, along with like a bunch of other ones. Like it all just looks like one continuous take a lot of times.
So it puts us into our international feature film. So, what are you thinking? You've seen more of them than I have. I've only seen Sentimental Value, which I thought was good.
Yeah, it was great.
So, but I've heard some amazing things about that secret agent, and it was just an accident, so.
Yeah. It's definitely a toss-up between Sentimental Value and The Secret Agent for me, and in terms of, like, predictions, because, like, The Secret Agent has kind of been, like, sweeping, like, a lot of the other circuits in terms of the, like, international feature film and everything. But I could definitely see Sentimental Value, and I don't got anything else other than that. Like they're both fantastic. They're both nominated for Best Picture, so yeah, it's gonna be like between the two, but it'll probably end up being The Secret Agent. Like if I had to guess,
I'd say it's probably going to, just from like what we've heard about all the other different festivals and award ceremonies and stuff. Like I've heard Secret Agent being one of the best ones, although I would love to see Sentimental Value get it. I love me a good Skarsgård film, and like I said, I'm a big fan of the Fanning family, so so that pulls us into makeup and hairstyling, because we're gonna skip that live action short film. We just don't have any leg in that race.
Yeah, I hadn't seen any of them, so I'm not gonna.
Same.
Maybe one thing if I saw maybe like one or two of them, but I haven't seen any of them.
So that pulls us into makeup and hairstyling, though. So for me, I feel like Frankenstein's gonna get that one.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I feel like there was a lot more to it.
Yeah, I think for again, like I was mentioning with costume design, it's for the same reasons I felt that Nosferatu probably should have won that category. Is like, like the elegance and everything of like the nobility and the common folk of that period of time, and then just the monster. And I read some of the details that they put into like Jacob Elordi's like look as the creature, and like it's super like in depth and everything.
Yeah, they did a lot of work for that.
Yeah.
So, and honestly, I think that's the piece that stands out to me the most is, all the makeup and prostheticisms and pieces and things like that that had to go into it. That would be my absolute, like, hands down pick. Don't get me wrong, Sinners is on that list too.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
So I wouldn't be upset about that one.
Yeah.
But I feel like it probably should go to Frankenstein.
Yeah. As much as I liked what they did with like Remix look, as well as like the looks of the vampires and everything, and yeah, like of course of that time period as well. So
it puts us into music for original score.
Sinners next.
Yep, absolutely. No.
No notes.
There is nothing better than Sinners when it comes to the musical score.
Yeah, Leto Goranson is the GOAT, and Sinners just once again proves why.
Yeah, like there's no
shade to obviously like the rest of the nominees, but it's
I feel like if any of the others win it, it should be a crime.
I'll be surprised.
Don't get me wrong. Again, like we said, we love some of these other movies, but Sinners hands down should win music for the original score.
Yeah.
And then for music original song, Golden. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm a K-pop fan, and past that, it should be I Lied to You. Yeah. Those are your only two options. The others don't exist.
Yeah. I would prefer I Lied to You to win, but it's probably going to go to Golden, because, like, what I like about both of them specifically is that they both, Golden is like driving through, like, the entirety of the movie for the most part, and I Lied to You represents, like, a key, critical, climactic scene where like, everything just ends up going awry and everything. And my point being, they both serve as like pivotal pieces and moments in like each individual film. So
they're earworms,
or the respective film. I mean, yeah.
I listen to both of them so much. Every time I hear I Lied to You from Sinners, I remember the scene because it was so impactful. But no, Golden, I love it. There's just something about it. I really enjoy it, like you said. It pulls through the whole movie. It's very sing-along catchy. So that's always a big bonus for me. Give me all the dopamine I can get out of it.
Yeah.
So that pulls us into production design. For me, that's a hard one.
Oh, yeah?
I do think it's hard. Like, it's definitely a toss-up to me between, like, Sinners, One Battle After Another, and Frankenstein.
Yeah. I think I'm
leaning more Frankenstein.
Yeah, that's roughly where I'm at, too, because, like, the castle, Frankenstein's castle.
Yeah.
Like, they did what you're supposed to do. They made, like a model of, like, what it looks like on the outside, and then, like, did just, like did a lot of stuff with like the interior and everything, and that ship in the movie, it was an actual like ship.
Yeah,
like they actually just brought a whole ass ship to like I guess the studio or something, and they made it look like it was on like a frozen like
tundra.
Well, that was actually an ocean, I think. I mean, if your ship is stuck in a tundra, you've got another problem entirely. But
well,
no,
whatever it's called.
Yeah, the level of detail in Frankenstein is just so fantastic.
I agree. I feel like there was a lot more like locations to it that are more unique versus like One Battle After Another. That's a city.
Yeah,
it could be any city almost. And then like for Sinners, for the most part, was just in one spot. It mostly took place in like a barn. A few other spots, a little bit more of that old timey feel to it for the time period.
Right.
But I feel like Frankenstein is the one.
Right. And to the credit of like Sinners and Marty Supreme and Hamnet, a good bit of the battle when it comes to production design, I feel, is like making it period accurate. Like spending a lot of the time like making it, because with Marty Supreme, you had to make New York look like it was still like in the late 40s, early 50s, and like that's not the easiest thing to do, but they did such a good job to where you're immersed in that. And I feel the same way about Sinners and Hamnet and One Battle After Another. But as far as like in that regard, I think Frankenstein did the best though.
Yeah, I think they're all very immersive, but Frankenstein for me is my winner. So it pulls us into sound.
Yeah.
Sinners.
Yeah,
Sinners is mine again.
Yeah, I would prefer Sinners to win, but it's probably going to F1.
It could.
I think sound is probably the only award that F1's going to win since it's consistently been dominating that category. While there's a lot of things with F1 that were kind of lacking in terms of like pulling you in and making you feel like you're like a part of a race, or whatever, it did not slack with sound. Like the sound in F1 is just like so well done and intricate and fantastic. So that's my prediction. I think it's probably going to go to F1 for sound.
Yeah. I still want Sinners.
Yeah, me too.
But, again, if F1 is the winner, I'm not going to cry about it either.
Yeah.
I got some friends, they really love F1. That pulls us into our visual effects. For me, I feel like this one's a little harder. I think I kind of want Avatar to win for Fire and Ash. I feel like there's just a lot more effects needed. And I think they did a great job of really, again, it's a whole other world, a whole other species. We've been here before, but, we're back again, and it still pulls you in.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like for me, it's a beautiful movie visually. With all the different, plants and everything glowing and all the different textures and stuff that you see on the screen. Like, it just feels like a whole other world.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm obsessed over it.
Yeah. This one's not very hard for me. I think it's going to Avatar.
Yeah.
And I think it should, because, like, this is just James Cameron's, like, bread and butter since the first one. Like, the full body motion capture, like suits, like to transform like everyone into like big, tall, and blue, and like the level of detail with like the CGI and everything, you just actually feel like you're in that world, and like I think it's just irrefutable. Would like Sinners to win, obviously, but
yeah.
but that's kind of the reoccurring theme. But it's probably going to Avatar, Fire and Ash, because I think that's just the one thing that it reigned supreme in for last year.
I agree. I just think it's going to get the win on that one, and I'm not mad about it at all. I loved Fire and Ash.
Mm-hmm.
So that pulls us into writing for adapted screenplays.
Yeah.
So, which for me, again, hit me with that Frankenstein. I love it. So it's one of my favorites for many reasons. So seeing it on the screen and done so well with all the fantastic acting of the many different adaptations of Frankenstein, I think this may be my favorite.
I think it's probably gonna, not only do I think it should go to One Battle After Another, I think it's probably will go to One Battle After Another. To give you an idea, Paul Thomas Anderson has been writing this script since like while simultaneously working on There Will Be Blood. He's been working on it for like 20 years, just fine-tuning it and crafting it and everything. I think he actually jokes that he was just waiting on Chase Infinity to be born and grow up, like that. Like it feels like the script that he was writing, he wrote for like his daughters, which they're mixed kids, so like in a way vicariously also written for Chase Infinity as well. So yeah, and you can definitely tell from like all the details and like the writing from all the characters and like just the themes and everything. I just think it's just like I would be surprised if Paul Thomas Anderson does not win for at least that, as well as directing.
I wouldn't be mad about it. Like you said, he's worked on it a long time, and when you put that much work into it, you should win.
Yeah.
I still want Frankenstein.
Oh yeah. I know.
I loved it. It was such a
I
good
know.
movie.
Me too.
I want to watch it again.
Yeah, I mean, it's on Netflix. So.
I know. I need to watch it.
And coming to Criterion eventually.
I'm so excited for that. Yeah. And that brings us to our last category before the big reveal. So I think for writing for the original screenplay, Again, I'm stuck on Sinners.
Yeah.
But I do feel like Sentimental Value could take it, or even Marty Supreme. I've heard a lot of great stuff about it. It was just an accident. I just still want Sinners.
I think it's probably going to go to Sinners. Again, like, Sentimental Value, Marty Supreme, very strong scripts and, like, just excellently written scripts overall. But I think there's just so much with Sinners. It has a lot of depth and everything. I just think that it's probably going to take it. Like, you can definitely tell, like, all of the effort that Ryan Coogler and had put into, writing the script and everything. And yeah, I don't know what to say. It's just, it's just a fantastic story. And yeah.
That brings us to the one everyone has been waiting on, the Best Picture. So for me, I think Sinners. That's the one I feel like should get it. That's the one I'm really rooting for. Now, I would not be mad about Frankenstein and One Battle After Another. I feel like it's more of a toss-up between One Battle After Another and Sinners, though.
Yeah.
I think those are the two competition.
Yep, that's where I'm at too. That's
between the two.
That's where I'm at too. I think Sinners. I personally think Sinners should win, but it's probably going to go to One Battle After Another. I think. Like I said, it's just a phenomenal movie, and I think Paul Thomas Anderson is finally owed his win after being in the industry for like years and years and years and years, like being at the Oscars after putting out like a majority of his movies and like coming up short. I think it's just finally his time. He this, to me, this is going to feel like his Martin Scorsese moment, where Martin Scorsese had been nominated time and time and time again for all these different awards, mainly like director and picture, and then not getting it. And then The Departed happened, and Martin Scorsese won not just picture but also director as well. So yeah, like, just from the way I'm looking at things, like I think it's just One Battle After Another for picture, and I think it's Paul Thomas Anderson's time finally. And with that, that concludes our wish list and nominations for the Oscars come not this coming Sunday, but the Sunday after that. No, the Sunday, whatever the 15th is. It's on a Sunday.
Week after next, I think.
Yeah, that's on a Sunday. That's all I know. Or week after next for whenever this video ends up getting uploaded. But yeah, if you've watched these movies, what are your personal predictions and everything else? And yeah, that's all we got. And yeah, thank you for watching this video. And if you enjoyed us, consider hitting like, subscribe, and ringing the bell and all that jazz. And we'll see you, or at least I'll see you in the next one whenever I get that done.
As always, I'm only on occasion.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'd like have you in every single one, but you have this annoying thing called work.
I do. It's a bit of a habit.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to break.
Mine too, sadly. Anyway, yeah, this is your boy Chrysalis here. Signing off.
Bye.
Bye.